The Lost Boys, the 1987 film, has left an indelible mark on pop culture as a stylish and thrilling vampire movie that quickly became a cult classic. With its unforgettable characters, eerie Santa Carla setting, and a perfect blend of horror and humor, the film continues to resonate with audiences decades later. But what happened to the cast after the movie? From rising teen idols to legendary Hollywood careers, some achieved fame while others took unexpected paths. Let's take a deep dive into the lives of the Lost Boys cast then and now. Tim Cappello. Tim Cappello made a brief yet unforgettable appearance in The Lost Boys, 1987, as the beach concert star, a muscular, shirtless saxophone player who delivers an electrifying performance of I Still Believe during a beach party scene. His high-energy act, complete with oiled-up muscles, chains, and a headband, became one of the film's most iconic moments. Though not a main cast member, Cappello's scene left a lasting impression on audiences and contributed to the film's cult status. His performance was praised for its raw energy and unique style, though some found it humorously over the top. After the movie, Cappello continued his career as a musician, most notably as a longtime saxophonist for Tina Turner. While he didn't receive major film awards, his scene remains a pop culture phenomenon. Cappello has kept details of his romantic relationships private, maintaining a low profile in his personal life. Brooke McCarter. Brooke McCarter played Paul, one of the members of the vampire gang in The Lost Boys, 1987. As one of David's, Kiefer Sutherland, trusted allies, Paul exuded a rebellious and sinister charm, embodying the film's punk-inspired vampire aesthetic. Though he had limited dialogue, his menacing grin and wild energy helped shape the gang's intimidating dynamic. His character meets a gruesome end when the Frog Brothers attack the vampires, leading to a memorable over-the-top death scene. McCarter's performance was well received for contributing to the film's edgy, youthful vibe, though he didn't achieve widespread recognition compared to other cast members. After the movie, he stepped away from Hollywood for a decade before returning to work on independent projects. McCarter was also a musician and producer. He kept his romantic life largely private, focusing on fatherhood. Sadly, he passed away in 2015 due to a genetic liver disorder, but his role in The Lost Boys remains a lasting part of his legacy. Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman portrayed Edgar Frog, one half of the Frog Brothers, a pair of young vampire hunters who run a comic book store. Feldman's portrayal of Edgar, with his deep, gravelly voice and exaggerated toughness, became a fan favorite. His comedic timing and over-the-top delivery added a unique charm to the film, making the Frog Brothers a standout duo. Feldman's role was significant enough that he reprised it in the direct-to-video sequels Lost Boys: The Tribe, 2008, and Lost Boys: The Thirst, 2010, where he played a more seasoned vampire hunter. His performance in the original movie was widely praised for its campy yet engaging approach, though some critics found it too exaggerated. After The Lost Boys, Feldman remained a prominent figure in 1980s Hollywood, starring in films like Stand By Me, The Goonies, and Gremlins. Edward Herrmann. Edward Herrmann played Max, the seemingly mild-mannered video store owner who was later revealed to be the head vampire and the film's true antagonist. Throughout the movie, Max presents himself as a kind and charming suitor to Lucy Emerson, Diane Wiest, appearing to be an ordinary businessman. However, in a shocking twist, it is revealed that he orchestrated the vampire's activities, intending to turn Lucy and her sons into part of his family. Herrmann's portrayal of Max was praised for its subtle menace, with his ability to switch from affable to sinister making the twist particularly effective. His performance added a layer of sophistication to the film, balancing the youthful rebellion of the vampires with a more refined but equally dangerous presence. Already an acclaimed actor, Herrmann was well known for roles in Gilmore Girls and Annie. He kept his personal relationships private, though he was married twice. Herrmann passed away in 2014 from brain cancer, leaving behind a legacy of remarkable performances. Billy Wirth. Billy Wirth portrayed Dwayne, one of David's loyal vampire gang members, known for his brooding intensity and long, flowing hair. As one of the quieter members of the group, Dwayne didn't have many lines, but his piercing gaze and imposing presence made him a formidable force. He meets a brutal end when he is impaled on antlers during the final battle in the Emerson home. While his role in The Lost Boys was relatively minor, Wirth's cool, rebellious look made him a memorable part of the vampire gang. After the film, he continued acting in films and television, appearing in War Party, 1988, and Body Snatchers, 1993. He later pursued directing, music, and painting, showcasing his diverse artistic talents. Worth has kept his personal life largely out of the spotlight, focusing on his creative endeavors. Chance Michael Corbett. Chance Michael Corbett played Laddie, the youngest member of the vampire group and the only child among them. His character is a half-vampire, much like Star, Jamie Gertz, and remains silent for most of the film, often appearing frightened or confused by his circumstances. Laddie's most haunting moment comes when he lets out a monstrous growl, revealing his transformation, which adds to the film's eerie atmosphere. Despite being surrounded by danger, he ultimately reverts to human form after Max's defeat. Corbett's performance effectively captured the vulnerability of a child trapped in a supernatural world. While he didn't receive major accolades for his role, his presence contributed to the film's emotional weight. After The Lost Boys, he appeared in projects like Monsters and Baywatch. His private life remains largely out of the public eye, and details about romantic relationships are scarce. He has since stepped away from Hollywood, with The Lost Boys remaining his most well-known role. Diane Wiest. Diane Wiest played Lucy Emerson, a recently divorced mother who moves to Santa Carla with her sons, Michael and Sam. Naive to the town's dark secrets, she tries to rebuild her life and begins dating Max, unaware of his true identity as the head vampire. Her warm, nurturing nature contrasts with the film's gothic horror elements, providing a grounded and emotional core to the story. Wiest brought depth and sincerity to Lucy, making her more than just a typical horror movie parent. Though The Lost Boys was more of a cult hit than an awards contender, Wiest's career soared with 2 Academy Award wins for Hannah and Her Sisters, 1986, and Bullets Over Broadway, 1994. She has maintained a steady presence in film and television, including Parenthood and The Birdcage. Personal details about her love life are limited, as she has largely kept her relationships private. Corey Haim. Corey Haim played Sam Emerson, the fun-loving, sarcastic younger brother of Michael, Jason Patrick. Unlike his older sibling, Sam is less concerned with fitting in and more obsessed with comic books, which ultimately helps him recognize the vampire threat. His friendship with the Frog Brothers, Corey Feldman and Jamison Newlander, adds humor to the film, and his character provides a strong emotional contrast to Michael's darker storyline. Haim's energetic performance was widely praised, showcasing his natural charisma and comedic timing. Alongside Corey Feldman, he became known as one of the 2 Coreys, dominating 1980s teen films. After The Lost Boys, Haim starred in License to Drive and Dream a Little Dream, but struggled with personal challenges that affected his career. His romantic life was often in the media, including relationships with Alyssa Milano and Nicole Eggert. Haim passed away in 2010 from pneumonia, leaving behind a legacy as one of the era's most iconic teen stars, Alex Winter. Alex Winter played Marco, one of the vampires in David's gang, known for his wild, rock star-inspired look. His character is the first to be killed when the Frog Brothers ambush the vampires, staking him in his sleep. The violent death, complete with blood-spraying geysers, remains one of the film's most memorable scenes. Though Marco had little dialogue, Winter's intense stare and punk-inspired wardrobe made him a visually striking presence. While The Lost Boys wasn't his breakout role, it helped establish his early acting career. Winter later gained international fame as Bill in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989, a role that defined his career. Over time, he transitioned into directing, creating critically acclaimed documentaries like Showbiz Kids and Zappa. Winter has been private about his romantic relationships, focusing instead on his filmmaking. Though best known for comedy, his role in The Lost Boys remains an early highlight of his career. Jamison Newlander. Jamison Newlander played Alan Frog, one half of the fearless vampire hunting duo known as the Frog Brothers, alongside Edgar, Corey Feldman. Alan operates out of the family's comic book store, using horror comics as both a guide and a warning system for potential vampire threats. Though quieter and more reserved than Edgar, Alan is just as dedicated to exterminating the undead. His deadpan delivery and serious demeanor contrast with the film's more humorous moments, making the Frog Brothers a beloved part of the Lost Boys cult following. Newlander reprised his role in Lost Boys, The Thirst, 2010, but had a reduced presence in Lost Boys: The Tribe, 2008, where his character's scenes were cut. Outside of acting, he pursued writing and directing. Unlike some of his co-stars, he has maintained a relatively private personal life, with little public information about his romantic relationships. Barnard Hughes. Barnard Hughes delivered a scene-stealing performance as Grandpa, Lucy Emerson's eccentric father, who provides comic relief throughout the film. Seemingly oblivious to the strange happenings in Santa Carla, he spends his days working on taxidermy, reading TV guides, and making cryptic yet humorous remarks. His most iconic moment comes in the final scene, where he casually reveals that he has always known about the town's vampire problem. That one-liner perfectly encapsulates the Lost Boys' blend of horror and comedy. Hughes, a veteran actor with decades of experience, was best known for playing wise yet quirky older characters. His career spanned both stage and screen, with a Tony Award for Day 1978, and notable appearances in Tron and Doc Hollywood. Married to actress Helen Stenborg for over 50 years, he maintained a strong presence in theater and television until his passing in 2006 at the age of 90. Jami Gertz. Jami Gertz played Star, a mysterious young woman caught between two worlds. As a half-vampire under David's control, she exudes an air of quiet sadness, longing for an escape from the Lost Boys while also protecting Laddie, the youngest among them. Her connection with Michael, Jason Patric, forms the emotional core of the film, as she tries to warn him about the dangers of fully turning. Unlike the more menacing vampires, Star is portrayed as vulnerable and conflicted, adding depth to the supernatural thriller. While the Lost Boys solidified her status as an 80s icon, Gertz later transitioned to television, earning praise for roles in Still Standing and The Neighbors. Beyond acting, she became a successful businesswoman, co-owning the Milwaukee Brewers baseball team with her husband. Her personal life remained stable, with a long marriage to billionaire Tony Ressler. Kiefer Sutherland. Kiefer Sutherland commanded the screen as David Powers, the charismatic leader of the Lost Boys. With his bleached blonde hair, piercing gaze, and menacing smirk, he embodied the ultimate 80s movie villain: cool, dangerous, and effortlessly magnetic. Unlike traditional horror antagonists, David rarely resorts to outright violence, instead using psychological manipulation to lure Michael into his gang. His presence dominates every scene, and even after his supposed death, the revelation that he was not the true mastermind adds another layer to his character. Critics and fans alike praised Sutherland's performance, with David becoming one of the most iconic vampires in cinema history. Following The Lost Boys, Sutherland built a career spanning multiple genres, most notably starring in 24, which earned him Emmy and Golden Globe Awards. His personal life has been widely publicized, including high-profile relationships and marriages. Jason Patric. Jason Patric played Michael Emerson, the reluctant protagonist whose descent into the world of vampires drives the film's tension. After moving to Santa Carla with his family, Michael becomes mesmerized by Star, Jami Gertz, unknowingly falling into David's, Kiefer Sutherland, trap. His slow transformation into a half-vampire brings out an internal struggle, forcing him to fight against the seductive lure of immortality. Unlike the Frog Brothers or his younger brother Sam, Corey Haim, Michael approaches the supernatural threat with fear and hesitation, making his journey more psychologically intense. Patric initially resisted taking on a vampire film, but was convinced by director Joel Schumacher's vision. While The Lost Boys became a cult classic, Patric distanced himself from mainstream Hollywood, opting for roles in Rush, Narc, and Sleepers. His personal life has included high-profile relationships, notably with Julia Roberts, but he has remained relatively private compared to some of his co-stars. The Lost Boys remains a cult classic with unforgettable performances. Which character was your favorite? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and share your thoughts. Your feedback helps us create even better content. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the Famous People channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.